Welcome back. I'm Caitlin with Wiregrass Daily News, and I have with me here again Dr. Kirk Eriksen. Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to be with you, Caitlin.
Good to see you again. So, this morning, we're not talking about your book, we're talking about your practice, weight loss.
Yes, Dothan Weight Loss.
Dothan Weight Loss.
And I'd like to start off by talking about two myths when it comes to weight loss.
Okay.
And that is, most people think it's about calories in and calories out. In other words, eat less and burn more calories with exercise.
Right.
But I want to kind of dig into that a little bit.
Great.
Because people are told that a calorie is a calorie no matter what. But that doesn't make any sense biologically, because different calories affect the body differently from a hormonal and a physiological standpoint. For instance, if you eat 300 calories of candy and soda, do you really think it's going to do the same thing as eating 300 calories of baked chicken and vegetables?
No.
And the answer is no, because eating sugar and refined carbohydrates is going to increase your blood sugar, which is going to cause an insulin spike, which is going to drive fat storage and ultimately increase your appetite. Whereas focusing on protein and fiber, this is going to stabilize your blood sugar, it's going to decrease your appetite, and it's going to support metabolism. And one of the keys to sustaining weight loss is decreasing all of these glucose spikes throughout the day. Because whenever you have a blood sugar rise, your body's going to create insulin, and insulin stimulates an enzyme which blocks the front door of the fat cell, and it decreases another enzyme which essentially shuts the back door of the fat cell. So it prevents fat from being broken down.
Right.
So that's what you have to trick, is how to stabilize all of this. And that's what we teach in our office.
So, how many patients do you typically see at your practice?
We take care of hundreds of patients every year here in Dothan for weight loss. And, one of the things that, we teach is that it's not just about how much you're eating, but it's what you eat and when you eat. That's the key. For instance, there are certain fruits that we let our patients eat while they're on the losing phase, certain fruits they can't touch, they have to avoid. So all of this is so critically important. Now, the other myth is that people who are overweight, they're lazy, they don't exercise enough. And that's generally not true, because the thing is, and I'm going to simplify a complicated conversation, but that is because we have a calorie budget. Everyone, we're created that way. Most of the calories that we burn is our resting metabolism. So the calories we burn digesting food, running all of this machinery, our heart, our lungs, our brain, breathing, that's at least 70% of the calories you burn. Exercise accounts for maybe about 20%. But what happens is, when you exercise too much, when you're trying to lose weight, your body compensates by decreasing the caloric burn from the resting metabolism, and it kind of balances things out. So that's why people are so frustrated, because they're exercising so hard and the numbers aren't moving on the scale, and they're justifying, saying, well, that's because I'm building all this muscle. Muscle's heavier.
Right.
But I'm sorry, building muscle, several pounds of muscle, is extremely difficult. And a collegiate athlete struggles to do that. Do you think a middle-aged person is really building 15, 20 pounds of muscle? No, they're just not burning fat. And the thing is, we have our patients exercise while they're in a losing phase, but it's light exercise. But then they ramp it up when we get to maintenance. But I do want to make a very important statement, and that is, exercise is arguably the most important thing you can do to enhance your health and increase your longevity. But when it comes to weight loss, it plays a small role.
I was going to ask, because exercise, how big of a role does that play when it comes to losing weight?
Probably less than 20%. And another thing exercise does, when you're exercising too much, it's going to increase your hunger, number one, and you're going to feel entitled to eat this or eat that, and you're going to derail, the weight loss, because you can't out exercise bad eating.
So it's like, well, I've exercised, so it's okay if I have this candy bar or,
Yes.
this sugar,
Yes.
because I've exercised.
Yes. Yeah. And really what we're doing with our program is we're trying to reset the metabolism. And when we do that, we're training the body to burn fat.
Right.
Okay. And when we do that, we become metabolically flexible. So we don't have the hunger, we don't have the cravings. We're getting you in control of your body instead of your body controlling you.
Right. So metabolism, I've always wondered this. Metabolism, is that something that slows down as you age, or?
To a certain extent. And also too, as you lose weight, it's going to slow down naturally also. So there's different tricks that we do in our office to try to ramp the metabolism back up. So we have to coach and support our patients through all the ups and downs.
If you have a higher metabolism, are you hungrier more or hungrier less?
It's a little more complicated than that. But yeah, things like that are going to vary, and we have different tricks to get around that. But I do want to mention about the trends that are out there, because everyone sees all the GLP-1 medications and the semaglutides.
That was going to be my next question.
Yes. And, first of all, I'm not a medical physician. I'm a chiropractic physician.
Mhm.
So it's not my job to prescribe medication or tell patients not to take drugs. That's between you and your doctor.
Right.
Okay. But I do know what we see in our office clinically, and I do know what I read in the medical literature. And obviously there's many different side effects, gastrointestinal side effects that people are aware of that could be mild or sometimes could be severe. That's not my biggest concern. My biggest concern is when the drug actually works, and it usually does. And the reason for that is because the studies are very clear that the weight people lose when they're on these medications, the type of weight they're losing ranges from 15% to as much as 50% or a little bit more of that weight is lean body mass. So that is muscle and even a little bit of bone loss. And this doesn't make any sense physiologically. I think one day they'll figure out why that's happening, but you have to understand how unhealthy that is.
Well, yes.
And I get it. People taking these drugs for different reasons, but you got to be thinking long term. And it's hard to imagine this as being a long-term strategy for people. And if you want to live a long life, you have to hang on to as much muscle as you can. And it's not just about strength. You need it for a lot of physiological reasons here. I've been in practice in Dothan since 1992. We've been doing weight loss just over 10 years.
Mhm.
It is unbelievably rare if we ever see the muscle percentage drop. Okay, because we're burning fat. And so if you're doing this, you got to make sure your doctor does regular bioimpedance scans at the minimum, because we track our patients' muscle fat percent, their muscle percentage, fat percentage, visceral fat levels to monitor. And there's certain mitigating factors your doctor can talk with you about to help decrease this muscle loss.
So there's a lot that goes into this process that you guys do at your practice for weight loss.
Yes. And, one thing, you can go and Google. We have like about 170 Google reviews, and you can see what patients have to say as far as their results. And what makes me feel good is talking about how great our staff take care of our patients. And we really take care of people. It's not about running in here and hopping on a scale. Okay. That's part of it. But actually, what's more important to us is the inches. So every visit, we measure patients to see how many inches they're losing as opposed to just pounds. And we have other therapies they can get on the standing vibration plate exercise. We have hydro massage, chair massages, and we have the ultra slim red light therapy, which is a therapy that kind of helps trim down the superficial fat slightly. And patients love that because you just lay there for 30, 35 minutes.
Yeah. So red light therapy is that this, and I know red light therapy is super popular among skincare. Is that the same type of red light therapy?
It's similar, but this is a really intense machine that what it does is it creates temporary pores in the fat cells, and they kind of leak out their contents. And that's what causes you to kind of shrink a little bit.
Okay. Now, back to your Google reviews, we have a couple of people here that work at Digio that have been patients of yours. And
yes,
and I can't believe the success of the program that I've just seen with the two guys that are here.
Yeah, they're great guys.
So on average, how long does it typically take for a patient to see inches come off?
Well, some of the biggest change occurs the first week. And then of course, it slows down from there. It ranges. I mean, we have a patient that lost 100 pounds in 5 months. Now that is unusual. Okay. That's generally speaking, yes, he was a younger guy. But the thing is, people say, what if I lose too much? Well, it's easier to say, whoa, than giddy up.
Right.
In other words, the problem is getting people to lose weight. We can always slow it down. But then also too, everyone is different. Women, middle-aged women with hormonal issues, sometimes we have more ups and downs with that. So that's what our job is to help them when they get stuck, to manage them through that. But, everyone loses, at their own pace. And generally we love it when patients lose, a half a pound to sometimes, up to a pound a day, in the beginning. And then of course that slows down, obviously. Right. But, everyone has different motivations. But really, the best thing to do to find out about specifically what we do is to call our office and set up for a free consultation. We'll tell you everything up front, and you'll find out just how effective this is and what a good fit it is for you.
So for a woman middle age who is dealing with hormonal imbalances that might cause some weight to stick around or, make it a little bit harder to lose weight, do y'all at your practice, do you do hormonal testing or do you refer out to?
We refer out for that.
Okay. That was just
Yes.
I was just curious.
Sure.
So where can someone go to find out more information or how to get a consult or any more information about your practice, the weight loss that you do there?
Yes, you can go to dothanweightloss.com, or you can call our office at 334-793-7992. And you can talk with all the staff, but Jamie and Janiza are the two ladies that head up full-time the weight loss program, and the other staff help as well.
So for someone who is interested in losing weight, getting on, started on that journey, what would be your advice to them to take that step?
Well, first of all, you got to make that decision. You have to be motivated. You got to be ready. It's like stopping smoking. The most important thing is just making up your mind that I'm done. But think about it this way. Why? What is your why? Why do you want to lose weight? Everybody wants to look better, obviously, but you want to live, you want to have a long lifespan, but what's more important is your health span. So doing this for the right reasons and thinking of this for the long term, because we work with our patients at least 5 months, but what's important to us is not 5 months, it's 5 years from now. Where are you at that point? Because that's really what's important.
Is that how long a treatment plan is typically for your patients?
Typically about 5 months.
Do you ever go over that?
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes we do. Mm-hmm.
Well, that is all really great information for anyone who is looking. I didn't realize that the weight loss program journey, whatever you want to call it, was that in depth and what you all do at the
Dothan Weight Loss.
Dothan Weight Loss. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's not just going in and stepping on a scale. Yes. There's a whole lot that goes into it.
Yeah. And I think that's what you'll see when you read these reviews, that patients are taken care of. In other words, they get results, but how we take care of them is critical. And I think that's what really sets us apart.
So anyone who's interested in getting started on that weight loss journey, head over to Dothan Weight Loss Google reviews, read those reviews. Is there a website that someone can go to?
Yes, dothanweightloss.com.
Oh, that's right. You just said that. Mm-hmm. I'm so sorry. So dothanweightloss.com, that's where you can go to get information and then call and set up a free consultation.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Dr. Kirk, for coming in today.
Thank you, Caitlin.